Let's talk about the personal credit cards for emergency high limits. And so here's a review I want you to pay attention to. So when you think about personal credit cards for emergency with high limits, we love the fact that the first one you have the Blue Cash Everyday card from American Express. This card is just fantastic because the card allows you to actually have instant access. So if you are approved, I mean, you have the possibility to have pre-approved to be pre-approved, and once you are approved, you can have instant access to your cash. And if you need money fast, an instant use credit card can ensure you are able to start making purchases as soon as you are approved. And like all American Express consumer and charge cards, the Blue Cash Everyday card from American Express comes with an instant card number upon approval. The card's additional features include a welcome offer and an intro APR offer that gives you more than a year to pay your debt without paying interest charges. So this is just fantastic. Now remember though, that credit cards with instant use number can only be used at merchants that accept digital wallet payment. So if you are making purchases that require you to tap, swipe, or insert a physical card, you'll likely have to wait until your card arrives in the mail. But this card is just fantastic in terms of the flexibility it really offers. So we love the fact that the card comes with a good APR introductory offer on both purchases and balance transfers. And cardholders can use benefits like Pay It, Plan It to help manage surprise expenses. It's just fantastic. Next, you have Capital One Walmart Rewards MasterCard. We love that card a lot. And the card is great for food and household emergencies. So even if you have the funds to cover an emergency, unexpected expenses can make it harder to pay for everyday essentials. And this card, the Capital One Walmart Rewards card, is more accessible than most other no annual fee rewards card. It's one of the few grocery cards open to people with a bad to a fair credit. So this card combines convenience with big rewards, offering 5% cashback at walmart.com, including pickup and delivery orders. You can also earn a bonus rate in store, adding to this card's everyday value. So we love this card a lot. It's just fantastic. So long story short, if you shop walmart.com frequently, you could save a significant amount in grocery and household purchases. This card comes with no annual fee, so you won't have to worry about offsetting a yearly cost. Boss, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here. Make yourself comfortable. You are going to enjoy today's conversation. This is the Bank of America card, a credit card, and this card is great for paying off emergency debt. So when it comes to an emergency credit card for debt relief, the Bank of America card is one of the best around in our view, because the card actually charges a no annual fee and gives you a long balance transfer offer to make interest-free payments on the emergency purchases you may have made on another card. And having more than a year to pay off any emergency purchases or debt can make your monthly payments more manageable while also saving money you would have spent on interest charges. It's just fantastic. So we love this card a lot because the introductory APR offer is one of the longest on the market, and you can potentially qualify for a lower than average ongoing APR. Just fantastic. Another card I want to share with you is the Titanium Rewards Visa Signature card from Andrews Federal Credit Union. So Andrews is it's just a fantastic credit union, by the way. And what we love about this card is that basically it's best for high credit limit and low APR. Of course, it is a credit union, which means you got to be a member to actually qualify for this card. But qualifying for Andrews is not really that complicated. And so this card is a no annual fee rewards card that comes with credit limits ranging from $5,000 to $50,000. So a high starting limit can offer some peace of mind if you have to cover let's say, a sudden large expense. On top of its high credit limit, the Titanium Rewards Visa card comes with the kind of perks you might expect to find with one of the best credit union cards. It's a great everyday rewards card, offering bonus rewards for gas and groceries and an above average flat rate for general purchases. The good thing about this card is that you are guaranteed an ongoing interest rate that is lower than the current national average. So this is kind of fantastic. And also this card also has a low fees for late payments compared to similar cards. And this is kind of cool in terms of the flexibility, but also in terms of the efficiency you would need if you are looking for an emergency credit card. Boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. I'm talking to you about the best personal credit cards for emergency with high limits. Let's talk about Bank of America Unlimited Cash Rewards credit cards for students. This is another credit card that we love a lot, and this is the best emergency card for students. If you're a student and you're watching this show, you will love this card. And it's a rare, no annual fee student rewards card that offers impressive introductory APR offers. Think about it. Check this out. You have 15 billing cycles for purchases and any balance transfers made within the first 60 days of account opening. And so not many student credit cards give you the chance to skip interest charges forever or for over a year. Plus, students can enjoy an above average flat rate for purchases with no purchase categories to track or enroll in. So we love that a lot. And this card actually includes generous introductory APR offers on purchases and balance transfers. So, as a student, you can gain experience managing debt. And this is really great. Another card I want to share with you when it comes to personal credit cards for emergency is the Care Credit Card. So this card, the Care Credit Card, is great for medical emergencies. And so it's one of those cards that really have been on the market for a while now. And it's one of the best credit cards for medical expenses. It offers a short-term financing for medical expenses not covered by insurance for up to 24 months with no interest charges, as long as you pay off your balance completely and on time. However, this is a deferred interest card, so you accrue interest the moment you use it. So if you don't pay your balance before the financing period ends, you'll be responsible for back interest as well as ongoing interest charges. So be very careful here. This Care Credit Card also offers a long-term financing with more flexible options than many of the best credit cards with introductory APR offers. Let's say if you have costly medical expenses for your family or pets and you don't have a medical emergency fund set aside to cover the cost, Care Credit could offer a temporary relief. And this is kind of cool. And Care Credit can be used at select retailers. That's what we love a lot. You can use it at select retailers like Walgreens and Walmart for qualified health, wellness, and personal care items. And Care Credit is really accepted by over 250,000 healthcare providers. So this is kind of cool. I want to talk to you now about Platinum Rewards Visa Signature Card. This card actually is from PenFed, and so PenFed is a credit union, and basically that means you got to be a member to qualify for this card. But this card is great for emergency cash advances. We love this card a lot because basically it is a solid rewards card. Rewards is in the name of the card anyway, right? So it is really, when you think about, first of all, PenFed is a great credit union that we have reviewed at length on this show. But this card particularly is kind of cool because it's a solid rewards card. More than that, it doesn't charge a cash advance fee, a rare feature for this type of card. Okay. Now, basically, most cards typically come with a fee and high interest rates that begin to add up the moment you withdraw the money. And the cash advance APR is also much lower than the regular APR. And cash advance rates, you will find on many credit cards, making this card, in our view, a good option to have on hand. So this is kind of cool. So, and this is really good. The rewards aspect of this card is really great, especially if you are trying to find satisfaction when it comes to monitoring your household expenses. Okay. So we love the fact that this card earns solid rewards in practical categories like gas and supermarkets. And those areas are categories are really important for families when you think about it, okay? And you can take advantage of an intro APR on balance transfers with this card. Now, the only problem is that with the card here, there is no grace period. So interest begins to add up the moment you withdraw cash. So be aware of that. And another thing I want to say is that while this card has no cash advance or foreign transaction fees, it does include a 3% balance transfer fee, and that 3% can really add up big time. Plus, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We are having a conversation about personal credit cards for emergency with high limits. So I just share with you our top 10 personal credit cards for emergency high limits. And let me share with you the steps you need to follow here in terms of choosing a credit card for emergencies, because emergencies happen. I mean, that's the very nature of it, emergencies, that they do not actually warn you beforehand. They just happen. So you got to have a clear idea how to actually how to handle those emergencies. Not just handling them. We're talking here about navigating the emergencies, okay? And so it's important to understand that, when you borrow money to deal with an emergency, you have to pay it back, usually with interest, and very high interest. And those interest charges can cost you hundreds of dollars and more, and can make it harder to pay off your credit card debt. And so that's why you have to actually have a plan to pay back what you borrow. And there are a lot of credit cards available, but not all of them can help you in an emergency. And so it's important that before you actually reach out to a lender or a credit card provider to actually get a credit card for emergency, you got to know your credit score. See, that's really important to know your credit score, because basically, when you talk about you got to ask yourself, what are the following factors are most important to me? Instant use, high credit limits, low or no interest payments. Do I want to have a card that's open to people with no credit, fair credit, or bad credit? Is there a sign-up bonus and rewards? And do I care about no penalty APR? Those are elements that you have to ask yourself beforehand. Don't wait until you actually apply to actually start asking those questions. So you want to think about determining the type of emergency card you need, as I just said. Also, see if you pre-qualify. And pre-qualifying for a credit card can show you if you're likely to be approved without impacting your credit score. And some credit card issuers let you pre-qualify on their website, or you can use a tool like Bankrate Card Match, or Wallet Hub, or Nerd Wallet to help you find offers you are likely to qualify for, or even Credit Karma. You got to pay attention to the rates and fees, okay? Simply because you are looking for cash in an emergency, you got to think about, read a little bit of the fine prints. Before you apply for a card, take a look at the card's APR or interest rate, then use a credit card payoff calculator to get an idea of how long it will take you to pay off potential debt and how much interest you will pay. So that way you have a clear idea what's really happening here, or what might happen. Now, when you get an emergency credit card, the next question, which is the next logical question, is how do you maximize the card? Because the whole thing is that you do not want to, if you get like $1,000 credit limits, you got to be able to use that $1,000 in an emergency in a very seamless way, right? And so if you want to maximize an emergency credit card, you always have to think about paying on time. And you got to pay more than the minimum, and you got to try to avoid paying interest for as long as possible. That's kind of important. So when we talk about paying on time, we are talking about the fact that you want to avoid unequivocally late payments, because late payments can lead to unnecessary fees and penalty APRs, which can make it harder to pay off your debt. It can also lead to negative marks on your credit report that stay there for up to 7 years or longer, and that's the last thing you want to actually have happen to your credit. And so you always want to pay more than the minimum, because you could be stuck in debt for a long time if you only make minimum payments on a credit card. And so to avoid the credit card debt cycle, try to make paying off your emergency debt a top priority. And so find a budget strategy that works for you, so you can track where your money is going, and look for ways to quickly save money that can be put towards paying more than your minimum payments. And this is kind of cool. And so when we talk about trying to avoid paying interest for as long as possible, Well, the thing is that you have credit cards with 0% interest, and you have 0% intro APR, and those give you time to pay off a large purchases or debts anywhere from 12 to 21 months without having to spend money on interest charges. So that's really cool. And many of these cards charge no annual fee and are one of the few options available that give you the chance to borrow money from a lender and pay it back without having to pay any fees or charges. So that's kind of cool. So when we talk about the personal credit cards for emergency with high limits, of course, the big question is that what happens if you are not able to get those, like any of those credit cards, like you don't qualify, maybe your credit is bad, or personal situation does not allow you to actually apply for those cards. Well, there are emergencies. I mean, credit cards are good for some emergencies, but they won't be the best option for everyone. And so, in today's conversation, I want to share with you two alternatives that could help you when an emergency arises. First of all, you want to think about an emergency fund. And so, an emergency fund is money you set aside for unplanned or emergency expenses. And in most cases, it's the cheapest and best option for handling an emergency, since you are using your own money and won't have to worry about interest charges. So this is kind of important. Now, the thing is that saving up money is no easy task, okay? I mean, a lot of folks don't have enough savings to help cover a 1,000 surprise expense. So this is something that you can really think about. So emergency fund is one thing, or you can try also to get a personal loan. So an emergency personal loan might be a great option worth considering. So you have a lot of lenders. We have covered this on this show and other shows. So you are able to have lenders who can give you up to a $50,000, and you can use the cash to cover unexpected expenses, or you can just all kinds of expenses. So but see, the thing is, for an emergency personal loan, you better have a high enough credit score and a low debt to income ratio. So those are the two criteria, the two main criteria for you to qualify for a personal loan with an APR that is much lower than the typical regular APRs of credit cards. It's also possible to get a personal loan with bad credit, though you will likely have to deal with high interest rates, and it might be delayed 1 to 4 days before you can start using your funds, which you do not want to have anyway. So when we talk about emergency credit cards in general, I mean personal credit cards for emergencies and high limits, you got to really understand that the high limits that I'm talking about, where the maximum limits here is $50,000. And but in an emergency, a lot of credit card providers or credit card issuers, they're not going to give you $50,000 because they're thinking this is an emergency. Your situation is more fragile. They're not going to give you that much money. They might give you 10 grand or 5 grand just to see test the waters and see if your risk mitigation process is actually good, and then you are able to pay back on time and consistently. If you are able to do this, then they will gradually increase the limits. But sometimes, in an emergency, you need the cash real fast. You don't have time to wait for gradual increments or gradual increases. But hey, listen, this is how the game is played anyway. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I spoke to you about personal credit cards for emergency with high limits. I give you the review, I give you the steps, and now the recap. So the review here, let's quickly talk about the cards. We have the Blue Cash Every Day from American Express. We have Capital One Walmart Rewards MasterCard. We have a Bank America credit card. We have Titanium Rewards Visa Signature Card. We have Bank of America Unlimited Cash Rewards. We have Care Credit. You have Platinum Rewards Visa Signature. So this is really fantastic. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.